The long pass to Miller, and Miller is there, and it's a touchdown, Anthony Miller.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Payton Presser. It's all under the umbrella of the Payton Sports Network. Jarrett Payton here alongside my man, Shaun Davis, SD2 Mikes on Twitter. I'm at Payton Son on Twitter. Fam, we're switching it up this year. Over the last, 5 years, I've been doing the Payton Presser and sitting and writing and grinding after games. And now it's like, man, we taking this straight to video, man. We're going to give people that video knowledge instead of having to do it on that pen and pad, man. How you doing, man? What's good?
I'm wonderful, man. Great day in Chicago. Great win. Sports was fantastic today. We got no hits, best team in baseball in the American League, and then the Bears pull off a 17-point fourth quarter comeback. First time they've done that since October 11, 2015, when they won 18-7 on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs. So great day for football fans in Chicago.
We got to start off because I think everybody in the Chicago world was kind of trying to figure out what was going to happen with Mitchell Trubisky underneath center. And, I think it all started with him. I think all eyes were on him. And, not only did we know that, he knew that as well. He knew that he had to come out and play well. And earlier in the game, Shaun, we saw the exact same thing that we've been seeing over the years since he's put on a Bears uniform.
Yeah.
Inconsistent throws, footwork, and just trying to figure things out. The things that we were hoping he would get better at are the things that we saw him struggle with early on. And it comes down to the same thing. When it comes down to when you need him to make a play late in the game, the young man delivered. And those three touchdowns in the fourth quarter, like it or not, you got to give him credit for being able to get it done. I think a lot of Bears fans are just trying to kind of curious a little bit to see why they can't get this same Mitchell Trubisky in the first three quarters of a game.
Yeah. I look at it, man, and I think that what we saw in the first half from Mitchell Trubisky was very disconcerting, man. It seemed like the same Mitchell Trubisky that we'd seen last year and the previous year, missing wide open throws, almost got Cole Kmet's head taken off down by the goal line. And literally both of those were very good drives. He gets into the red zone, and we see the same inaccuracy that we've seen in the previous 2 years. And it was disconcerting going into halftime, but I was wondering whether or not Coach Nagy might have the guts to go ahead and pull that trigger on Nick Foles. But
I saw
for the Bears, he didn't.
My concern is that throughout this whole entire training camp, both guys were right here.
Yep.
Not one guy took it up a notch. That was the case. That a lot of people thought that Foles would come in and take the job, and he didn't. And the fact that you have Mitchell Trubisky, who, to me, still he needs more games. And I know people don't want to hear that, Shaun. They don't want to hear it, but it is what it is, man. The dude, he's got to feel more and more comfortable in playing more games. And him and Nagy have to get on a better page.
Oh, absolutely.
And Nagy's got to be able to figure out how to get the best out of him early on. And I don't understand why you go away from the run when the run is working early on. And that's what we saw. We saw them running the football, and I said, holy cow, this is the new Matt Nagy, and this is this new offense. We're going to see the running. And even if it's running back by committee, I'm cool with that. If you're going to use all three guys, I'm cool with that. But still, I know what happens. Once you get down, and it's not just Nagy, this is every NFL coach. If you get down, you're going to get away from the run. Now you're putting more pressure on Mitchell Trubisky to be able to win you games and make those throws with his arms, when if you can have a balance on offense, that truly will help that young man blossom and not have a lot of pressure on his shoulders to be able to have to win games. That's just not who he is.
Well, they talked about it in the postgame, how important it was and how fun it was for him to get that running game going early. Yeah. Offensive line did a really good job. Overall, they end up with 149 yards rushing, but the more important stat is 5.3 yards per rush.
Huge.
If you can do that every week, that definitely helps Mitchell Trubisky out with the play action, the rollouts, and everything that Matt Nagy wants to get done with him, getting him outside of the pocket and on the move.
That's not enough, though.
No.
Dizzle, it's not enough, man. He's got to get him moving more. That's where he feels more comfortable. And we saw it late in games, and we saw it even last year as well, that this young man he feels some type of way when he's in that hurry up offense.
Yeah.
When it's quick, when he can move, get the ball out of his head, and not that 5-7 step drop where he's got to break down the defense and everything that's going on. So I want to see more movement out of him, out of the pocket, but also as well, if you're going to run these RPOs, I want to see him. That's one of the gifts that this young man has, is be able to run the football. And we saw it on that long run that he had. I want to see him move a little bit more and use those feet. So hopefully that will keep defenses on their toes a little bit, knowing that he has that threat. Right now, if you're having him step back and drop back, dude, teams are going to say, you can do that all day.
Yeah.
We'll take it. We got this back here. Let's do it.
I thought he had opportunities to make plays in the first half with his feet, and he decided to get outside the pocket. I thought he had an opportunity to pick up some chunk yards, and he pulled up and threw balls down the field. I think it was the first half they were in the red zone, and I think he could have definitely got about 8 to 10 yards, and he decides to pull up and throw a difficult pass to Allen Robinson in the corner of the end zone, and it fell incomplete because he had to thread the needle. It was like trying to throw the football through the eye of a needle, and it's almost impossible. You can't make that throw. There's maybe one quarterback that can make that throw on the run, and he resides up north. So other than that, that's not going to happen, man. Pick up the 8 to 10 yards, move the chains, and give yourself another opportunity to get 7 instead of 3, and hopefully he can learn from this game, watch the film, and we can turn those field goals into touchdowns, because that sets the tone and changes the entire direction of the first half.
Yeah.
Probably looses the defense to be able to pin their ears back and come after Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. Man, I still need to see more. I need to see more. And I was stressing earlier in the week, they got to start fast. They got to start fast. I don't know what it is, but they got to figure this out, man, because it's too hard, and you're putting too much pressure on your defense.
Yeah.
Of not being able to extend drives. Like, when you can do that and keep them on the sidelines drinking Gatorade, that's only going to help them out. And you said be able to pin their ears back, get them the lead and let them do what they do.
Let them do what they do.
Yeah, then we can have the opportunity to hopefully see some more turnovers. We can see some more passes.
Don't you think the defense plays on their heels when the offense constantly is 3 and out, 3 and out, can't get touchdowns on the board? They're defensive. They have to feel like, man, we just need to hold the fort instead of being out front by like 10 plus points. And now they feel like, let's go create these turnovers, get the ball back to the offense. It changes the entire energy of the football team.
Yeah, they're going up against, especially the quarterbacks in the NFC North. We know, you talked about number 12. You got to find a way to get him on his back looking up at these quarterbacks at the lights in the stadiums, man. Like, it has to happen, because all these guys in the NFC North, they can sling the rock, man.
Yeah.
And if you don't find a way to get to them, which, you want to hear more and more. And a lot of this pressure comes on Mac. He knows it. We all know it. When his name's not being called, everybody around are calling me, texting me, yo, I ain't heard Mac's name. Yo, it really hurt not having Robert Quinn in the lineup to be able to have that guy that could, because you want to see how that relationship goes. And when it comes down to it, I mean, when you look at the guys that Max had by his side on the other side of him, this right here could be that perfect marriage. Quinn's got to be healthy, though, for this to happen, because that's definitely going to help out Mac trying to get to the quarterback.
It's crazy. Matt Nagy with the win today went to 10-3 in the division against the NFC North. He's 5-0 against the Detroit Lions. Like him, Trubisky, this team, they just love to see the Detroit Lions on the schedule.
I get it, man. I get it. Like, picking up the tempo is huge, but we see that when you pick up the tempo, this is something that Trubisky loves. I mean, he thrives when he's in that hurry up and that no huddle. And so I know you can't do it all the time. It's just not going to happen, but they got to find ways to sprinkle it in a little bit more, especially early on in games, because you and I could be talking about a whole nother scenario.
Yeah.
If that end of the game didn't end like it was supposed to. If Swift gets that touchdown and things change, everybody's already calling for a switch for Trubisky. And listen, you got to give him his time right now. You can't, not after one game, you're going to let up on him. And I know Bears fans, they need to understand this as well. This organization wants to see the best out of this young man. It's the reason why, and it's on Ryan Pace. He knows it, and he's going to give him every opportunity to be able to do it. But for right now, where the schedule is early on in the season, Shaun, it gives him an opportunity to have some confidence, hopefully, going into the Giants game. Maybe have some confidence and keep building on it, because we know Nick Foles around week 5, week 6, that's when he starts waking up, and that's when he's ready to go.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky, man, for his career, a career passer rating of 106.9 against the Detroit Lions. The fourth quarter alone, he was 8 for 10 for 89 yards, 3 tutties, 143 rating. I mean, you said it. When he turned the lights on in the fourth quarter, and I think one of the most important things is, and he talked about this, and we'll hear from Mr. Trubisky in a second, but he talked about the importance of getting into a rhythm. And when you get into a rhythm as an athlete, no matter what sport you play, it takes the thinking away from the game, and you're able to think faster and process faster. So the running game helped him with that, but he wasn't able to finish some of the throws that he had there in the first half. He got the same opportunity there late in the game, got into a rhythm without the running game, because it was pretty much all pass, because they had to come back from 17 down in the fourth quarter. And like you said, you have to give credit to where credit is due. The young man stepped up. He competed. He never hung his head. He talked about how his teammates told him, Anthony Miller specifically, just keep balling. We're going to make it happen. And that's what exactly happened for them in the fourth quarter.
There's a connection. We saw the connection with Allen Robinson really blossom last year. And
Pay that man.
I think, I tweeted that too. Pay that man. But also, too, I think everybody knew that this was going to be a big year for Anthony Miller. Like, he's got to stay healthy. We got to see him ball. Yo, man, I just got chills just thinking about it. Like, the catch on the sidelines, the one hand bringing it back in, amazing. And the deep ball, these two have a connection, and so it's good to see, because we saw that connection with Robinson, but we needed another connection here. I can't wait to look and see what Matt Nagy was talking about, the connection with Jimmy Graham and Cole Kmet, as that kind of blossoms as well.
He talked about the importance of having those two tight ends, establishing the run game with them early, and then being able to go with the rollout game and the play action to get them involved and to definitely take over the middle of the field. Any great offense has to be able to dictate the middle of the field, especially in the mid-range, and even threatening the safeties down the field with those tight ends. Hopefully the Bears can continue to open that playbook and to dictate the defenses down the road, so they just can't pin their ears back and come at the Mitch and just bump and run and double team Allen Robinson, which we expect Allen Robinson to be double teamed all year.
But guess what? But you can't do it if you're getting busy in the middle of the field with tight ends, or even at the slot if you're running guys through. You have to stay honest as a defense, and so then it takes over. If you're killing them in the middle, now let's open it up on those outside. It's going to give Allen Robinson an opportunity. Anthony Miller have these one-on-one matchups, and what it comes down to Mitchell Trubisky being able to hit those throws. And so